When I start to think about my own spiritual formation, I have to begin with my family, who has shaped me more than anything else. I was born a preacher's kid, going to church every Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night. My father has been my primary role model in my life. He has shown me the true example of a man searching for God, constantly trying to live his life for Him. Not only has he been a great Christian model, but he has become a resource for me, especially in the last couple of years. It wasn't until I came to college that I realized the great resource of wisdom and knowledge of the Bible that my dad is. Although my dad has been a fantastic example, I also would not be far without my mother. While my dad showed me how to live as a man for God, my mother has always been there, showing me how to love and care for others. She is the embodiment of woman wisdom and what I aspire to find in a woman someday, one who loves God and loves others. My siblings have also played an important role in my spiritual formation as well. My two older sisters have been excellent sources of counsel whenever I needed it, and they showed me how someone closer to my age should live as a Christian. My younger brother, although 8 years younger than I, has also played a role in my spiritual formation and has reminded me of the simplicity of thought of a child and how to look at things from a different viewpoint. The rest of my immediate family has also played a huge role in shaping my spiritual beliefs and values. Both my mom's side and my dad's side are all Christians and are all mainly in the Church of Christ. Growing up surrounded by so many solid Christians, it was inevitable that I would go to church to learn from their example, to study the Bible for myself, and eventually become a Christian myself. Although my family has played a major role in my personal spiritual formation, I would attribute a lot of my spiritual growth to my youth ministers. During my sophomore year of high school, my dad resigned as preacher at the church we were at, and my family attended another church in the area. Therefore, I was able to experience and learn from two very awesome and great youth ministers, and I consider both of them as mentors in my life today. The first youth minister I had and knew was Dave Barry. Dave taught me many things, including the gift of the Spirit and the extent of God's grace. Not only that, but I was in Dave's youth group for nearly 4 years, so his other lessons, devotionals, classes, and his example were all instruments in my spiritual formation. The other youth minister that I was able to have was Jeremy Picker. I was really only involved in Jeremy's youth group for a year, but Jeremy put me, as well as some of the other teens my age, in certain leadership roles. This was not only cool because he entrusted me with it, and was dependent on me for investing in that, but it was also a big part of my spiritual growth, just being in that leadership role. Even to this day, when I go home for breaks in the semester, both Jeremy and Dave want to catch up with me and see how things are going in my life and to encourage me. I would also contribute a lot of my spiritual formation process to my close friends that I've had over the years. One of my best friends in the world, Tim Landay, has walked alongside with me ever since I was 5 years old. He's 2 years older than me, but he and I became best friends really quick and have been ever since. He's not only a peer to me, but he's also a role model. Another friend that I would attribute spiritual growth to would be my friend Corey Stumney. I met Corey through church camp growing up, but I really didn't get to know him until I was in Jeremy Picker's youth group with him. He and I got to have a lot of conversations about our beliefs, and this helped me to actually start to solidify my beliefs in my mind. Another good friend of mine, Ben Weiss, is very much a part of my spiritual growth. Meeting each other for the first time during Welcome Week freshman year, we've only been friends for 2 years, but our friendship is as deep as any that I've ever had. Ben always reminds me of the need for social justice and equality in life. He also seems to always have a different way of looking at things, whether it be a situation or the scriptures, but it's always good. Another good friend of mine, whom I also met during Welcome Week, is Jake Jacobson. Again, Jake and I have only known each other for 2 years, but he, Ben, and I are the best of friends. Jake has a heart for people, and he has shown me time and time again, through his example and demeanor, the importance of people. Two other friends that I would attribute growth spiritually to would be my friends Brittany Sarava and Jarrett Ward. They're now engaged, but they have displayed for me what a couple focusing on God should look like while they are dating and while they are engaged. Four more people come to mind that have influenced me spiritually, and it might just be that it was so recent that they have done this. These four are my ministry staff from this past summer at Clear Lake Church of Christ. Donna Stone, Jeremy Glover, Kelsey Broom, and Emily Valerio although all in very different ways and all of different ages, have all influenced me greatly and have aided in my spiritual growth, even in the short 10 weeks that I spent with them. The only experiences that I can think of that really played a role in spiritual growth for me were our yearly mission trips to various places every summer in youth group and church camp. The mission trips helped me to see and realize the importance of serving others, and some of the lessons or devos that we had during the weeks were good, but our church camp, Camp Nietes, sticks out as much more of a place where I grew spiritually. I went to Camp Nietes for at least 6 years, probably more like 7 or 8, I can't really remember, but each year was deeper and more in depth with the content of what they were teaching. And each year was what I needed, what I needed to hear. It was during 1 week at Camp Nietes that I decided that I wanted to be baptized. It was at Camp Nietes that I first felt truly in the presence of God. And it was at Camp Nietes that I served as a counselor and realized that I wanted to work with teens whenever I was older. My spirituality has been shaped and formed by many different things, places, and experiences. I've listed a lot here, but I know that I'm leaving many others out. It seems like each new friend or each new experience can in some way influence me spiritually. My spiritual life has been formed by so many, and it continues to be formed as I continue to seek God and to try to walk in the light.